Welcome everybody. My name is Jeffrey St. Laurent and this is the Tuesday Live Show. I help coaches transition to a full-time business, providing the structures, the accountability, but more importantly, the logistics on how to get started. You know, how do you create a marketing plan? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? The structure around it all. And I have a lot of great resources on my website, sellingcoaching.com. If you want to check that out, you can start off in the university. I've got a ton of great resources there. And then also right on the homepage at sellingcoaching.com, if you enter your name and email address, that's going to not only get you a great audio resource called Launching Your Coaching Business, the First 3 Vital Steps, but it will also put you in my email community. I send out emails on a weekly basis, sharing great information, not only the stuff that I do, but great information that's going to help you along the way to creating a full-time coaching business, which is a long-term play, which is a long-term mindset, and it's learning skill sets that you might not be great at. And it's skill sets outside of the coaching skill set, which we all are excited about and passionate about and love, yet the coaching business really has not much, if anything, to do with the coaching skill set. And that leads in some ways in today's topic, which is making the most out of the last 2 months of the year. And you might say, well, how does that lead into this, right? It's the long-term mindset, right? So it's how do we stay in this game long enough to do the activities consistently over time? And there are times in our lives when different things happen in our personal lives. There are times outside of our personal lives with the economy, with the time of year, the season, the different holidays, etc. One of which being the end of the year. And depending on where you are in the world as you watch this, right? There's different people celebrate different holidays with different religions and things like that. But regardless of that, if we're just talking generally about, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year, it's the holiday season, really wherever you are. And a lot of sometimes the mindset, and that's what we'll talk about today, is the mindset to this all, is a lot of people tend to back off, slow down. Everyone's busy, you're busy, everyone is busy, etc. And it can be a situation where, especially if you haven't started, just like exercise or dieting or things like that, like, oh, well, I'm going to wait until this is over, until, the new year, etc. And it's, listen, if you want to do that, you can do that. I've always had the mentality with this business. Well, how about this? I'm not going to say always, but I've found and I've adopted the mindset that, you know what? There's no wrong time of year or of the month or in a season to be moving forward with your business. Now, do you want to schedule something on Christmas Day or New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? You know what? I could say no, but then again, you know what? Maybe there's people out there that, are have a relaxing day on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and they're not going out doing the traditional whatever. And that might attend or do what you're putting out there, right? So I'm not going to say no, but at the end of the day, maybe we don't pick a major holiday like that to do something on. But it doesn't mean that those times of year are bad times of year, or any time of year, or any season for that matter. Oh, kids are going back to school, or kids are getting out of school and summer's starting here, or people on vacation this month, or, August is a time, especially in New England, where a lot of people on vacation, or wherever you are, right? You could rationalize the whole year away because the timing's never right to do anything in our business. And what I found is there's no wrong time to either start moving forward with something or continue on that path. And in fact, I found the second I start to slack off in my business or rationalize me doing the work that needs to get done, getting out, speaking to people, making calls, following up, getting out, speaking my message, etc., it just delays my results. There's one thing that I will say as a tip for you. I don't even know if it's a tip. It's a fact. It's that the results that you create today, or let me say it differently. It's not the results you create today, but the results that you're getting today are happening today because of the work you did yesterday. And it's not literally yesterday, but it's last week, last month, last year, right? It's results happen not today. They've happened from yesterday, right? So I do work today and I get results tomorrow or somewhere down the road. In business, it's unpredictable in terms of when we actually reap the reward. So with that being said, if you want to create results in January, in the new year, in the first couple months of the year, which a lot of people, it's a great opportunity because of New Year's resolutions and everyone's turning over a new leaf, and everyone that's rationalized everything until the new year, everyone's starting in the new year. Okay, great. So is there truth to that? Absolutely, right? With that being said, though, if you want to go into the new year, and starting off the year on the right foot and catapulting into the new year and capitalizing on January and February for whatever those months are, it starts now. You say, well, Jeff, how does it start now? Right? It starts now because we've got to start developing relationships. We've got to start opening up relationships. People do things. People move forward and buy things and look to someone like us as a coach when the timing is right. So, but it doesn't mean that, they're just going to, wake up in January and find out about you and then hire you or have you in to do a speaking engagement, right? We've got to start opening up those connections now. And so what happens is now, even if people are busy or they can't get back to you right now, you could start that follow-up process. You can start opening up that relationship. You can start opening up those conversations. Hey, New Year's is coming. I'm setting up some speaking engagements for the New Year's. I'm setting up these new things that I'm doing. I'm starting a brand new program. You can start setting up some speaking engagements now for when that comes. Otherwise, you're kind of like running on that treadmill, and the treadmill is going faster than you can keep up with. And you're like, oh my God, there's all this opportunity out there. But it's like you didn't set the legwork up for it, right? You don't have the structure set up in your business. You don't know what you're doing in your business. You haven't been practicing speaking your message or getting out there or sending emails even. Doing a live video broadcast. Maybe it's just the preparation of you getting better at your presentation skills or articulating your message or writing your message or finding out where your audience is, right? So it's part of that. It's all that legwork. You don't just start off and all of a sudden I'm earning all this money. Like, that's not how this business works. And so I'd be sharing this message for you. I'll pull together these final thoughts for you, right? I'd be sharing this message to you, and you might be listening to this, the recording of this, right? And it could be June or July, right? Not November, which is, if you're watching live, is where we are right now in the last 2 months of the year. I'd be sharing this message, and to me, this message is relevant for you no matter what day or month it is during the year. It just happens that it's November right now if we're talking live, and it's the last few months of the year where a lot of people rationalize, well, it's the end of the year and it's the holidays and everyone's busy and I'm busy and I'm just going to wait, right? But that can happen any time of the year. So the advice I'm giving you is for any time of the year. I want you to get into that mentality that you've got to be sharp and you've got to be on. And that's not all the time. You could try all the time, but there are going to be times where you need breaks. But they're not long breaks. They're not month-long breaks. So like, you take a day off, you take a weekend off, you take a half day type of thing. I find that this business is done in short, intense bouts of time where I'm not going to sit in my office for 8 hours making calls. That you can. I don't know how productive that will actually be. You have 30 minutes, you have an hour. You have 2 hours in a day broken up into 4 30-minute sections or 2-hour sections where you're as productive as possible. And that's all you do, right? I mean, in terms of marketing, right? There's other things you do in our business, right? As you go along with the business, right? You have clients, you have follow-up, you have your marketing activities. There's emails, there's invoicing, there's finances, there's a lot of other components to the business. So it's not just all marketing, but especially now when you're starting off and then you don't have any clients, it's mostly all marketing other than some setup structures and things like that. So, but you can only market so much, but do them in short, intense, planned bouts. And there are going to be days where you kind of, grind through it because you're just not there mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. But if you reschedule that time, if you postpone it, don't just postpone. You can only postpone so much before it's not going to get done, and you start a new day, a new week, and well, you canceled. You didn't postpone. Postponing marketing activities to the next day, that's great if they get done, but were you going to have more? Well, when are you going to do that? Are you going to do double the amount tomorrow, or what the deal is? So you've got to understand this coming into your week as you do this. But you've got to have the right mentality. And today I just wanted you to get out of this the right mentality. And the mentality, whatever time of year it is, whatever month it is, whatever's going on, is to go after it, is to go forward with it. Don't wait. Oh, is it the most ideal for a certain situation based on whatever time of the year? Well, if you're saying no, well, what if the opposite were true, right? Just coach yourself, right? So like I've had my clients right now, and they're like, oh, I want to start something, but it's Thanksgiving in the United States. And I'm like, well, so what? Like, could you run something on Sunday of Thanksgiving Day weekend? I'm like, well, what are people doing on Thanksgiving, right? They've got like 4 days off, some if not more, right? By the time, Sunday comes around, it's just like they've overeaten. They've had enough with family. They've had their downtime. You know what I mean? So if they had a little seminar or an event or a webinar or something that that might be like welcome for them, right? So, and I've done stuff on, the Sunday of a Thanksgiving, long weekend, and it works, right? And so you do it, and maybe no one signs up. All right. Does that mean it was the wrong time of year? No, it just might not mean. It might mean that you didn't get it out enough. It might mean you might not have enough people in your audience right now that might be interested in something like that, right? It doesn't mean to stop. It just means, well, I did something at least, and I learned in order to get myself out there. Well, let me run it again in a couple weeks in the middle of December. Let me run it again before the end of the year and give it a shot, right? So that's the mentality I want you to have. That's how you forge forward with your business. And now come January, you're starting to reap the results of the work you did today, which is in November and December. And you start to create a momentum that continues forward and is hopefully is amplified when a time of the year that one might think would be a great time of the year to do something or to start something.